Hearing Andrew Garfield talk a little bit about returning as Spider-Man is always great because you can genuinely tell that he is just excited. He was excited to be back and excited to finally bring some closure to his character. Potentially. It all depends on if all the rumors are true. Either way, though, let's hear a little bit more about all the excitement and him returning. So this was from an interview with Variety, where Andrew Garfield talked about how grateful he was when Marvel Studios, Sony, and the director John Watts came to him asking him if he would be interested in returning. And then, of course, pitching him the idea, which we've talked about, and how the film either hinged on everybody signs on or this thing falls through. And he talked about how this incredible journey of him as an actor and what he did with Spider-Man and being brought back was really meaningful for him. And how he wanted to tie up loose ends, how he was looking at Marvel Studios and Sony, and how joyful it was, and how, again, bringing closure to it felt like the right thing to do. And it wasn't just about him. He says, the fans were important as well, because this was his sort of goodbye, as he said before, which, again, this does make sense. I mean, the guy never got to really finish off his Spider-Man, and you could still argue it's largely not finished. They just leave it hanging at the end of the second film. But there's enough dialogue in there that sort of hints towards a conclusion if you want to see one, right? But maybe they don't. We don't know. But he says it's one of those things where if you look at this, he was just honored to be able to be a part of completing the trilogy that Marvel Studios and Sony set out to make, and that it's one of those things that returning was something that he never thought would happen, but returning made everything feel right for him. So overall, it seems like that he, saw what was happening and was just excited to be a part of everything. And you definitely get the sense that he's not talking about everything that happened in regards to how much was going on in terms of the logistics of, Sony and the problems he had with them, and whatever Marvel Studios must have done to convince him to, again, talk with Sony, and whatever John Watts did, because that's always the stuff that's really interesting to me that he seems to be dancing around, which, again, it's fine. That does kind of make sense, but again, at some point, I hope we learn more about this, because I want to know some of the logistics, but at least he's talking about returning more openly now and how happy he was to complete that chapter of his life, which I guess that's all we can ask for. Having, completion in life, feeling like you're satisfied with something you started to do, and then finally seeing it through whatever level of completion you feel comfortable with. That's got to be pretty great.